You're tuned in to Northstar AI. Welcome again to our channel. This week saw the premiere of GPT-4 and Midjourney version 5 or V5. In this video, we'll look at whether this technology can shape the future of photography. Also, we'll demonstrate how to prepare GPT to generate prompts for Midjourney V5. I'd want to begin by describing how I got GPT-4 ready so that it could understand how Midjourney functions and carry out my requests. I started with a straightforward greeting, which is hello, and will now create graphics using a diffusion model. I'll tell you a little bit more about it. To begin with, let's try to learn how Midjourney functions. But let's not require any response from it. Instead, we'll instruct it to respond with read to acknowledge the receipt of additional information. Afterward, let's gather all the information we could find on the newest version 5 model from Midjourney's homepage, which will feed into GPT-4. Once again, let's request it to reply with read to receive the output. Next, we'll be explaining how to configure the various parameters such as quality, chaos seed, and stop in Midjourney to let GPT-4 know that we are looking for genuine responses. To ensure compatibility, I included the instruction read and follow up with now I want to give you some examples of prompts used in Midjourney V5, okay? Let's search for prompts on Midjourney's homepage that were centered around photography, given that it is our primary focus for today. Let's copy and paste around 5 examples and then ask, do you believe you now understand how Midjourney works? Yes or no? Then it responded, yes, I understand how Midjourney works now. Alright, that's good. I proceeded to present an additional set of 5 prompts, all related to photography. This is crucial for the next step, which is priming GPT-4. To prime GPT-4, I instructed it to act as a professional photographer, using rich and descriptive language to create prompts for photographs, complete with camera setups. The first prompt was to capture an image of a 1930s female influencer, using the example prompts as a guide for formatting. Then we'll click Submit. The initial prompt resulted in our first image. Let's copy and paste the prompt into Midjourney without making any changes before hitting enter. The resulting image was in a 4:5 format as evident from the closer look. This is quite impressive, although there are some imperfections in the fingers as there appears to be an extra one. Overall, the photographs looks great. It's a portrait of a female influencer from the 1930s, taken with an old camera that adds to its charm. The pose is also well done, with everyone looking like they're posing for the camera. Moving on, I have a list of photos that I want to work on today, starting with a Viking Prompt. The first prompt is to create a photorealistic portrait of a female Viking warrior mid-battle cry, showcasing her fearless leadership and determination. The prompt includes specific camera settings such as aperture, lenses, ISO, and shutter speed, as well as aspect ratios and quality. The shallow depth of field also adds to the impact of the portrait, effectively isolating the warrior from the chaotic battlefield behind her. Now let's move on to the next photo. I wanted to generate a prompt for the perfect pasta dish, and when I ran it, I noticed that the prompt did not mention anything about a photo. However, due to the examples I provided, the model understood that it was supposed to create a photograph and even included camera settings such as aperture, lenses, and shutter speed. This is quite impressive. Let's go ahead and run the prompt. Here it is, the pasta dish that we requested. Upon zooming in, the details are crystal clear, from the tomatoes to the parmesan and even the garnish on the side of the plate. It's amazing to think that this kind of technology could potentially replace expensive food photography. Instead, one could simply take a picture of their dish and run it through an image-to-image tool to enhance its quality. Let me also share with you this useful technique that I discovered. Now, we will change the input prompt to generate a unique prompt by adding your own interpretation at the end. I will gather multiple prompts from the list and then review them one by one. So, we now have all the images I wanted to collect. Let's begin by looking at the first one, a Viking warrior sharpening his blade. It looks incredibly realistic and the hair is particularly impressive. The weapon and blades might be slightly odd, but overall, it looks very convincing. The fur detailing is excellent. The scar may not be perfect, but the hair is simply stunning. The fingers could be better, but I'm still impressed by the overall quality. Let's now move on to our next picture, which is a gladiator hunting in the forest. Let's zoom in on it. Once again, it's not quite accurate. Although I like the forest background, the gladiator's face and sword are a bit messed up. The shield has a blade, but there are some issues with it. And there seems to be a problem with his headgear. It's not flawless, but it's still pretty good. In fact, I think this is the best one among the images we've seen so far. Despite being in black and white, however, since that hat and other elements seems a bit odd, I might need to run the tool again to obtain the ideal image. Let's take a look at the next image. This one is really impressive. A bee landing on a flower. The details are incredible, like the pollen on the bee's body, the fur on its body, and the intricate details in its eyes. The quality of the fur is especially impressive, making it hard to believe that it was generated by AI. This is a great macro shot. Moving on to the next one, it's GPT's interpretation of dreaming. The hands are a bit strange in some of the images, but overall, this looks nice. It's amazing how the AI model was able to generate such a calming and serene image just based on the prompt. Give me your interpretation of dreaming. This picture is really fascinating. There's a massive army of either humans or robots. I'm not quite sure which, but it looks like it's straight out of a film. You can observe that this one is guarding a group of humans here. It's a bit odd because there are humans in the background, but the cyborg robots looks impressive. As for me, there is no need to redo this image. Now, let's move on to the next one. It's a 1950s female police officer, and if we zoom in, it looks perfect. There might be a slight issue with the eye, but other than that, there are no obvious flaws. The lips and eyes are spot on, and the hat is very well done. The text on the side is a bit messy, but overall, this is awesome. Let's move on to the next prompt, which is about a mysterious cabin located by the fjord in Norway. Out of all the images, I think this one is the best because it's the most typical style of cabins we have here. Let me take a look at this one as well. It's also quite good, but not as typical for a fjord setup. The cabins are rarely seen like this, but it's still good. I like the third image has greenery, but it's strange that it's snowy on the other side. The fourth one might be good, but the wall looks a bit strange. Other than that, it's a well-structured image. The mountains in all images are exact, and the reflection in the water is very nice and perfect in all of them. Let's move on to the next topic, which is a living room interior inspired by Star Wars. As you see, the latest iteration of Midjourney seems to have more intricate details. It's remarkable to think about how many architects or interior designers can benefit from this now. The last image that we'll be showing in this video is an amazing sports car inspired by Iron Man. Let's zoom in on it. The color scheme of the car in the bottom right corner and the one in the top left corner looks great. It's interesting to know that some car designers are now using AI for inspiration, and you can understand why, as it can generate numerous designs quickly. The only odd thing about this car is that it has headlights both in the front and back, which is a bit unusual, but other than that, it's really cool and impressive. To give a brief overview of my initial thoughts on Midjourney V5, I must say that is thoroughly impressive. The quality of the images is astonishing, though there are some minor issues with the small details. But overall, it really is amazing. It makes people eager to explore the tool further. We can definitely expect that if we combine it with a GPT-4 model, they could both yield exceptional prompts. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned about utilizing these latest versions of AI models for photography needs. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you at the next one.